Hello, and welcome to Purchase Broadcast Studios. I'm your host, Andrew Donovan.
And I'm your host, Lauren Hagen. Thank you for joining us here today.
A group of activist students on campus called Raise the Consciousness recently organized a community fun and potluck day at the beginning of this month. RTC has been actively raising awareness about violence in Gaza and campus-related issues through peaceful protests and activities. Members of this group have stressed the importance of unity, hope, and supporting each other in their activism throughout the past 2 semesters. Purchase correspondent Lauren Hagen is on the scene with more on this community event.
On April 7th, Raise the Consciousness, a prominent activist group on campus, organized a community fun and potluck day behind the Old. The event saw enthusiastic participation from members of the group who engaged in various activities such as Duck Duck Goose, chess, and Catan, along with group meditation, music, and arts and crafts. The event was a huge success, bringing together students from diverse backgrounds to promote community building and social interaction.
We decided that we wanted to throw a community day where people could just kind of show up and hang out and enjoy the beautiful day. We're gonna have some games, we're maybe gonna do a meditation, just kind of decompress, chill, relax. We know that things are really intense on campus right now, and we really care about the community.
This event is to build up the community, have some fun, and just generally take the day to just relax and just take it all in and spend time with each other, just have fun, because there's a lot of negativity and there needs to be more positivity.
RTC has been organizing peaceful protests across campus throughout the academic year. From rallies to sit-ins, the activist group has been drawing attention to the violence occurring overseas in Gaza. According to their Instagram, the group believes that the Purchase campus requires a radical presence to boost awareness and allow students to make a difference on campus and globally.
I wanted to get involved because I just really care about this community. I care about what's going on abroad too, and I think that all these struggles are interconnected. We don't have a leader. We're all coming together and contributing what we can. So I felt really passionate about the idea of being in an organization like that and potentially making change on campus.
I feel like a lot of people at Purchase are very politically active, and we all really encourage each other and stand by each other to use our voices as students to make changes and see different things on campus.
Even though sometimes you feel so helpless because you feel like you aren't doing anything and that, oh my God, what does my voice matter? I'm just one person. But if enough people come together and use their voices to speak up for good, then change can happen.
The more voices we get, the more understanding we create between each other, and the more we can help each other. If it's just one very specific, narrow set of voices, then we're only gonna be able to serve that small group, which isn't what we want. We want to be able to holistically create this community that cares and nurtures itself.
There's just tragedy upon tragedy upon tragedy just unfolding on our phones every single day, and I think what RTC gives me as an individual is hope that we can stop this and we can do everything in our power to tell our government and tell the world that we don't want this happening, not in our name, not with our tax dollars, not on our watch.
RTC has no intentions of slowing down anytime soon, drawing attention to how SUNY Purchase has been silencing student voices and has Israeli ties. This group of prominent voices has been loud over the chaos. Participating in this community fun day allows them to take a break and enjoy each other's company, reminding them of why they started doing this in the first place.
Sharing online, if there's a protest, that's a small action, but it is impactful. Putting up stickers, posting posters all over campus, or just supporting your friends. I think that a big part of activism that we don't talk about is just supporting each other. Be there for your friends, be there for yourself. Those are kind of some small ways that you can get involved.
Even though it is political activism, the issue of Palestine is not a political issue. It's a humanitarian issue. And if you're looking inside your heart right now and you're saying hey, what's going on isn't right, don't be afraid to speak on that. Don't be afraid to let that feeling guide you in your political action, and just know that we are on the right side of history.
For Purchase Broadcast Studios, I'm Lauren Hagen. Back to you guys in the studio. The Hunter Lot is a parking structure located in Mamaroneck Village across from the village police station and courthouse. The lot's central location is near the library, Elman Theater, Mamaroneck Avenue's shops, restaurants, and cinema. The Hunter Lot is an important source of parking for many residents as the village has become increasingly congested. However, it is now in a state of disrepair and requires updating. Many residents had hoped that the lot would be repaired and upgraded with additional parking. Instead, in March of 2023, former Mayor Tom Murphy proposed to convert the lot into 40 and 50 residential apartments for families making less than $30,000 a year. To accommodate this, a controversial zoning change was pushed through, and a vague request for proposal was put out for bid. Purchase Broadcast Studios correspondent Margaret Kohler has the story for us.
The Hunter parking lot in Mamaroneck currently holds 206 parking spots for non-residential and residential permits as well as public parking. The proposal to demolish the Hunter lot will significantly reduce the number of public parking spots available to residents and patrons supporting the businesses on busy Mamaroneck Avenue. The Hunter lot is a multi-use lot not just for the library, Emlyn Theater, movie theater, and local shops and restaurants, but also for the court, building department, police, and fire department. These departments have voiced concerns stating that they do not have the resources for more residents and the location of this development could impact access for emergency services.
I mean, I myself come here 3 to 4 days a week to go to yoga class, and there's 3 gyms on the avenue where people use this lot to park to go to those establishments. There's restaurants, there's stores, there's all sorts of places on Mamaroneck Avenue. There's also doctors on that avenue that people need to be able to park to get to. That street is usually jam-packed with cars, parked in all the spots, and then double parked. You can't get parking anywhere. So this lot is really necessary for people in the village to be able to park to get to those stores and those businesses. There's an American Legion right next door here. There's a church right on the other side of that. The Mamaroneck Library is over there, and there's an Emlyn Theater over there, so people come at night to see shows. And there's really, this parking lot is necessary. As you can see, it's almost pretty full right now.
I understand that they need to build a building here, and I don't necessarily know why. I don't particularly want a building built in my town, but I understand the necessity to have buildings built for people. Every day there's more people in the world. People who own the lot want to sell it. Someone's making money off it, and it's a capitalist country. You know, we don't like it, but that's the way it is.
One major concern of Mamaroneck Village members is that the housing will be available on a lottery basis to people that meet the financial criteria, meaning that it will not be for current residents of Mamaroneck who need housing, but rather those who currently live in the 9-county area, which includes Westchester, Rockland, Putnam, and Fairfield counties, and all 5 boroughs of New York City. The residents of Mamaroneck will not be prioritized.
The Village of Mamaroneck will get $500 million for the land, but they're going to have to pay about $4.5 million for it to be built up. So they're going to net maybe $500,000 for it. And they're going to lose 200 parking spots, so all those businesses and restaurants are going to have 200 less people or carloads of people visiting their establishments. The chances of someone in Mamaroneck actually who needs affordable housing getting a home in this building is slim to none. So we're not even helping our own residents with this building here. We're actually just hurting our own businesses, and the people that already live here aren't even getting help because most of those people live in the flats, which is a land that is constantly flooded, and they're losing all their home items and their cars, and now we're not even helping them with this building.
Flood mitigation has been a major concern of Mamaroneck Village residents for years. In a recent survey of residents, flood mitigation was voted the top issue, and second was concern about overdevelopment. Overdevelopment is also a factor in the flooding of the Mamaroneck neighborhoods. Development of any kind should be halted, and resources should be focused on flood mitigation instead. This really needs to be prioritized over a new development that targets non-residents in the Hunter lot.
Today, we delve into the haunting legacy of Letchworth Village, a once promising institution now shrouded by controversy and tragedy. For decades, this facility was meant to care for the mentally and physically disabled, but instead, it became a site of neglect and abuse. Join us as we uncover the untold stories of those who lived within its walls and explore the ongoing efforts to remember and honor their memory. Stay tuned for Purchase Broadcast Studios correspondent Nico Sinicadro's in-depth report of Letchworth Village.
Letchworth Village was once a beacon of hope for those with disabilities. Now, it's just a haunting reminder of a troubled past and an eyesore for those who live around the urban decay.
The decline of psychiatric institutions in the United States, I think it's multifaceted in a way. And I think when we try to look at it in a magnifying glass, the number one thing would be the attention to the public. Before, there's not much push into psychiatric illnesses, mental illness, as compared to what we have right now. But also at the same time, we don't have as much push as well.
Letchworth Village is nestled in the Hudson Valley of New York, and it was established in 1911 as a state-run institution for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Initially hailed as a progressive solution to care for the vulnerable, the reality within its walls was far from humane. For decades, reports surfaced of overcrowding, neglect, and inhumane living conditions. The stories of abuse and mistreatment shocked the nation and led to widespread condemnation of the facility.
When it first opened, it was like its sole purpose was to help people. So they would bring people in, they would help them out. Eventually they had too many people, they got greedy with money, not money going to the right things, and that kind of led to its initial downfall.
In 1996, after years of public outcry and advocacy, Letchworth Village finally closed its doors. Since then, the abandoned buildings have stood as a stark reminder of the suffering endured within its walls.
Nowadays, let's say in other psychiatric institutions, when a person gets diagnosed with bipolar disorder, we'll have to predict, we have signs and symptoms whenever the person can get another outburst. We have medications for that to try to stabilize the chemicals in the brain. Therapy-wise talking for those with learning disabilities, those with developmental disorders. There are PTs like myself, OTs, and speech therapists who work with a child in order for them to get their milestone up, in order for them to try to live as much as normal life as possible.
But amidst the ruins, there are signs of hope. In recent years, there has been a renewed effort to preserve the history of Letchworth Village and honor the memories of those who lived there.
You kind of have to look at it based on what they knew of at that time. They did not know much about whole mental illness, autism, Down syndrome things. So they put everyone in this facility based on what they knew with all the technology that they had.
Letchworth Village represents a dark chapter in our history, but it's important that we remember and learn from it. By preserving the site, we can ensure that future generations understand the importance of treating all individuals with dignity and respect.
Thanks for joining us here today. I've been your host, Andrew Donovan.
And I've been your host, Lauren Hagan. Tune in again next time for another edition of Purchase Broadcast Studios.